Here I have 7 baby bottles that are made of either glass or silicone, and I'm going to test each of them with the primary objective of measuring their flow rate under the same pumping condition. I'm also going to talk about what I think of each of these bottles at the end after having used them for a few days. Here is how the flow test is set up. I'm going to use a Modella swing breast pump. The pump is set to the deep suction mode on the highest level, and each bottle and nipple combination is put to the test for 1 minute each. And I will be measuring the difference in weight before and after the 1 minute pumping to figure out how much fluid was dispensed under the same pumping conditions. I did have to modify the milk collector a little bit, added a soft silicone collar to help sealing against some of the nipples, as well as making a small cutout to make sure that the vents on some of the bottle nipples aren't blocked. I also ran the test repeatedly in a random pattern, just to make sure consistent results are achieved for each setup and there is no varying factor caused by the pump itself. Here is the summary of the results. I've arranged the bottle and nipple combinations here on the screen in ascending order in terms of their flow rates. At the top of the list, we have the Euphoria silicone-coated glass bottle in 90mm format. The nipple that comes with this bottle has a flow rate measured at only 2.3 milliliter per minute. And followed close by, in second place, is the Philips glass natural bottle with the optional number 1 nipple, which was measured at 5.2 milliliter per minute. These two nipples are what we are using for our newborn, as we find them to closely match the rate of his breastfeeding. This may or may not be the case for you. Now that we've finished the flow testing, let's take a look at each of this bottle in more detail. The Philips Avent Glass Natural Baby Bottle is a simple and reliable baby bottle with a glass body. The glass is relatively thick, it feels sturdy. The lid allows one-handed opening, but it's a little tight, so it might not pop off easily for everyone, especially if your fingers are wet. It has a thick plastic collar and a relatively firm nipple as well. Due to the simple design of this nipple, it's easy to clean, easy to assemble, and the best thing about it is that it holds back liquid on its own very well when the bottle is inverted. And with the optional number 1 nipple that we flow tested, it flows relatively slow. In fact, it's the second slowest of all the bottles we tested, so it's good for newborns. Similar to the Philips in design is the Tommy Tippy glass bottle. This one is a bit larger. The increment on it is a bit rougher. It does have a nice lid design that has a little shoulder, so you can grab onto it and pop it off single-handedly very easily. It has also a nipple with a single vent design. It's made of a softer, thinner silicone than the nipple on Philips. However, with this bottle, when inverted, the nipple does not hold back fluid. You can see that it drips on itself, especially when you shake it. With this bottle, I did notice something during the flow test, is that the air, instead of traveling back in the bottle from the air vent, which is positioned near the top of the bottle right now in this shot, it's actually re-entering the bottle through the nozzle. So that might be an issue that causes more foamy fluid in the nipple, which gets swallowed by the baby. The next bottle here is the Dr. Brown's white body glass baby bottle. I think it's actually called Option Plus White Neck Glass Baby Bottle. This one has a lid that's a little bit tight on the tighter side, so it's a lot more difficult to pop it off single-handedly. It has a very interesting design, and we tested the optional premium nipple. This is one of the slowest flowing nipple from Dr. Brown's. This bottle is probably the most difficult to clean and wash out of all the bottles here we tested because of the anti-colic air vent design. The nipple actually doesn't have any air vent on there. the air enters the bottle through behind a white plastic collar, and then it gets trapped into this groove on the green part, which is then directing air through this hole towards the center of the plastic tube, which then takes air directly to the back of the bottle. The air almost goes into the bottle too easily, and the nipple is not stiff enough to hold back liquid on its own. When inverted, I find that this bottle leaks liquid on its own through the nipple at the quickest out of all the bottles that we tested here today. So that's a big minus on this design. Also, because of the leaky air vent design, Dr. Brown's provided this white spacer to be used in the bottle for transportation. The next one is the Euphoria glass bottle. This is an interesting glass bottle. It's glass, but the outside of it is coated in a layer of silicone. So it's actually soft to touch and it has a grippy texture. The lid also pops off very easily single-handedly. It's held in place by these little bumps as opposed to a groove like as the case in most other bottle lids. So that's kind of a nice little design. Now if we twist this bottle open, you can see that there is a silicone piece in here, is a so-called foam filter. This is kind of similar to the green part on the Dr. Brown's bottle. In terms of air vent design, however, it does have a air vent on the nipple itself with a check valve. The air vent enters there, and once it gets behind the nipple, it's actually trapped in front of this foam filter layer, which keeps the air from re-entering the fluid stream directly in the center. There's two ports on the side. It forces the air to then go back into the bottle from the side around the perimeter inside a glass bottle as opposed to entering the fluid in the center. So that's how it keeps air from re-entering the nipple right away. However, I find this design to be much easier to clean and maintain than the air vent on Dr. Brown's bottle. The nipple on this bottle is also one of the firmest out of all the bottles we tested here. It does very well holding back the liquid when the bottle is inverted. You can see me shaking fairly vigorously, and I can barely make a drop of liquid coming out of the nipple. This is probably only second to the Phillips Avent nipple. This bottle is also the slowest flow rate bottle that we tested, which is great for newborn. Next, let's take a look at the Haka Gen 3 natural glass baby bottle. This is perhaps the most beautifully designed glass bottle out of the bunch here. It has an off-center nipple design. The lid pops off very easily, single-handedly. I think it's probably more ergonomic in terms of the feeding position on the baby as well. It has an air vent on the base of the nipple on the opposite side of the nipple. Because this is asymmetrical, it's easier to keep it near the top. Unlike Philips and some other bottles where there's a single air vent, you have to remember to rotate the bottle so that the air vent is near the top so that the air bubble doesn't go into the nipple as easily. Now if we twist open this bottle, you can see that it has a sort of artfully crafted glass body. I think this is the most beautiful glass bottle out of everything I've tested here today. The glass bottle opening is also one of the widest, which makes it easy to clean. Now, when this bottle is inverted, it does reasonably well holding back the liquid, but it does come out a little bit if you shake it vigorously. Next, we have the Komotomo Natural Feel baby bottle, which has a near full silicone body. It does have a little bit plastic part where the groove is, so that the lid can screw onto it. The lid is a little bit on the tighter side, so it's not the easiest for single-handed operation. The nipple has two air vents instead of one. They're on opposite side of each other at the base of the nipple. So this makes it so you don't have to worry about the orientation of the bottle during feeding as much, because whichever air vent near the top should be the one that's venting air into the bottle and away from the fluid going into the nipple. It holds back liquid okay. It does come off if you shake it or squeeze the bottle, obviously. The body opening is wide as the Hakka bottle, which makes it pretty easy to clean. Now finally we have the Bibs baby glass bottle, made by a Danish company. This is a very nice looking bottle. I would say it is as beautifully designed and crafted as the Hakka one. I like the lid is elongated, so it's easy to pop off single-handedly. It doesn't have a silicone nipple like most of the other bottle here. It's made of natural rubber. The bottle has very fine increments, so you can actually measure liquid at 5 mm increment, which is more precisely than most of the bottles that we tested here. It has like a heart-shaped air vent at the base of the nipple. The nipple is thin and soft. However, it doesn't really hold back liquid very well on its own. When the bottle is inverted, it actually does let fluid out of the nipple quite fast. As you can see, the drops are pretty large if I shake it. So for transportation, the company actually included a piece of bottle cap. You can pull on the bottle to keep it airtight, so you can transport liquid in it and without worrying about it leaking into your bag or something like that. It also comes with a piece of a collapsible funnel thingy, which help you make powdered formula. There you have it, our 7 bottle tested and reviewed. Here are some of my final thoughts. I really like the Euphoria bottle for its low flow rate. Nothing we tested here comes close to how slow flow this bottle nipple is. For our baby, we actually find it to be very similar to the overall rate at which he breastfeeds at just over 2 weeks old. We also quite like the Philips Avent Glass Natural bottle. Its simple and similarly robust design makes it easy to clean. It's also one of the most widely available bottles for parts in Canada. The optional Philips #1 nipple is a must if your baby is quite young. From there on, as the baby gets older, the options widen. A number of the bottle's nipples can achieve flow rate as little as 10 milliliter per minute in our testing. One of our favorite is the Hakka Gen 3 natural glass baby bottle. It feels premium and well made. And if you need something on the go, the Kamatomo bottles may also be an ideal choice, as its silicone body is not prone to accidental dropping and breaking. The prices I've included on the screen here are estimates because some of these bottles comes in a pack of several, so I've taken the average on a per unit basis. As well as some of the tested options here require additional purchase of optional nipples, so these prices are just estimates at this point in time based on what I can obtain them at. I'll leave the links in the description of the video below. You can find exact models that I've used for testing, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you. Goodbye.